it going? Driving home. I have my best thoughts in the car, so it's just also the bumpiest place to be. I'm driving down Main Street in my town, and I'm like hitting every pothole around. And let me turn this a little bit. Okay. That should be good. Wait, one more time. I don't want to chop off my head. Okay. So, I'm heading home. I just got done going for a walk with my mother and my friend. And we got into this discussion about how my husband fights with his mother all the time. Like, he is, not all the time, but often when they have a phone conversation, it ends up in a fight. And it's usually because she brings up some political thing, like, oh, I just got my 4th COVID booster vaccination today, or something like that. And he is very much against said political thing and feels the need to voice his dissenting opinion in great detail with references and receipts. And she doesn't really want to hear it. I'm finding that with the boomer generation, it seems like everyone just kind of wants to put their head in the sand. Everyone is happy with the news they get from Lester Holt and their Jeopardy and their Wheel of Fortune, and that's that. Like, they don't want to know the crisis of the southern border. They don't want to know the weight of financial debt we're putting ourselves in for the sake of Israel and Ukraine. They don't want to know the amount of people that have the resulting long-term cardiac effects from vaccinations that weren't entirely thoroughly studied before releasing onto the general populace. And I was trying to explain to my mother, because she said also that her husband's son, bless that based man, must have some opinions as well that counteracts her my father-in-law's beliefs. And her husband son is often arguing with him as well about stuff that they don't agree with, and she says she has to leave the room. She can't stand hearing it. And so the point I was trying to make was that boomers like news. They like the primetime news networks. They like watching their news. Whereas Gen X, Zoomers, Millennials mostly go to alternative news sources for their information. And so they will always have dissenting opinions, because the news networks are propagating information based on a narrative that will bring them the most profit margin. So if it is profitable to speak ill of Donald Trump, that's what they will do. If it is profitable to show indications of a worsening climate change, that's what they will do. And I say profitable in that more people are going to watch, the viewership is going to increase, the advertisers are going to notice, they'll have increased advertiser block being filled. And so whatever story drives that viewership, which is usually fear watching or hate watching, they are going to do that. sadly, there is not a lot of news segments that are noteworthy and in length that tell you anything positive is going on. They should have a puppy segment, every morning from 8 to 10, but they don't. They talk about the wretchedness of the world. So the interesting thing is the way that they spin things to ensure they have the story that they're looking for, to have the views, to have the increased advertising option. So if there is not a story that exists or not one worth talking about, they will make one. They will find a way to make one. And that is worrisome. But the other thing that's worrisome is that they will take the information that they've made and run with it as factual. So once fake story is aired, it no longer is fake story. It is now factual because it was aired on a factual network, thus making story factual and can be shared by other factual networks. So I've seen so many times that these people have gone down the rabbit hole of trying to find the true source of some sort of information that's being spread, and they can't find it. It's just links to other news articles that link other news articles that link other news articles. And nobody's actually has the source of where the information came from. That's concerning, to say the least, but not surprising, not at all.
Make sure to choose McDonald's today. Will you use the mobile app?
Not today.
Alright, so what is it I can get you then?
I just want to get a large Sprite.
Anything else?
That's everything.
Alright, so if that's everything, and you can go ahead and pull around the first window, $1.48 then, right?
Okay, so anyway, I was trying to convey this to my mother in the most simplest and scaled down versions possible. Immediately she gets defensive.
Large, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
There you go, have it on.
And before I know it, she and I are arguing over nonsense. Like the same as she said that her husband and his son are.
Have a good day.
Thank you. So it's like argument begets argument. All I was trying to say was that the mainstream media is not the most reliable source for factual knowledge. And she's like, well, where do you get your facts from? I said, from the internet, from grassroots sources, from people that actually do the research and make sure that what they are portraying is factual. Because the thing is with grassroots sources is they only have their integrity. They don't have the support of a primetime network that has a cash flow coming from an advertising source. Their advertisers are their viewers. The people that pay them are their viewership. So they need to be reliable. It's almost like blockchain technology. They are forced to be reliable because if they are untrustworthy, they will not be watched and they will not be supported. So they need to be, in some sense, trustworthy enough to be supported by those that fund them. So it is kind of important to know who is funding whom. Because if you have a grassroots media conglomerate that's being funded by Disney or funded by the CEO of Fox, then they're really not that grassroots, are they? And so that's questionable as to what their source material might be. So in any case, my point is that the internet generations are understanding that the best source of material and information as far as news is from those that you financially are having to support, because they are the ones that are going to try their hardest to portray the most factual information out there. whether it be right, left, or in the middle. So my mother says, well, I can have a differing opinion from someone else and still get along with them. I don't see the problem in that. Just look at my brother. I get along just fine with him. And I said, which brother? Because she's got 3. And she said, her oldest brother. His name is Jim. Just look at Jim, she says. This guy believes in Bigfoot. And I get along fine with him. And I said, Jim believes in Bigfoot? And she said, yeah, supposedly he saw Bigfoot. And I said, my Uncle Jim saw Bigfoot? And no one ever told me this? What? So, I got a homework assignment, which I have already messaged my cousin, his son, his youngest son. And I said, you and I need to have a conversation about your father. Because I want the Bigfoot story. If he actually saw the man with the plan and the feet, I want to know all about it. So more to go. Stay tuned on that. If I hear a Bigfoot story, I assure you I will share it with you, my audience. I share with you the larger, greater web. So, anyway, I'm just about home. I just had to share what I knew, what I heard about Bigfoot. You didn't know that this political rant was going to turn into a cryptid story, did you? But it matters. And shameless plug, my wonderful cousin and his brother, the brothers of said uncle, have a podcast called Silver Bullet. I actually have been on their podcast. I did a podcast about death and dying, the things I love to talk about. So you're welcome to check them out. They don't have a channel on YouTube. I told them they need to be on YouTube. But right now they're just doing straight podcasts. They release a new one every Wednesday. So they've been doing that for probably 6 months or so or something. I don't know. It's cool, but it's all about this shit. You know, it's all about the supernatural, but how it ties into biblical concepts. So they're always referring it back to scripture, which I think is really important. I don't know if they did a thing on Bigfoot or how they would tie Bigfoot back to scripture. Maybe if they considered him a Nephilim. I don't know, but I just want to know the story. So anyway, I'm pulling into my garage. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!